guys. Today on Fullerton Professional Organizing, I'm talking to you about one of my favorite organizers, Nikki Boyd from At Home with Nikki or At Work with Nikki. She has two YouTube channels, and right now we're talking a little bit about working from home and having that organized from the working from home or working outside of the home, but mostly we're going to talk about what to do when you work from home. So the first thing she talks about is that when you do have to work remotely, it's sometimes a struggle to separate home and work. You want to stay a little longer in bed. You want to work from bed, but sometimes that's not the best way to be productive. What I do is what she does. She usually finds something positive to do before she gets out of bed, and sometimes she studies her Bible notes from church or from Bible study, and she does that first thing in the morning. What I do, if I'm working from home, I listen to podcast, the 1 Year Audible Bible, and I listen to that in the mornings before I get out of bed and read my Bible. Now, sometimes if I have to go outside of the home to work, then I will listen to that while I'm getting dressed and putting my makeup on, or I will listen to it on the drive to a client. So I do try to do that because it puts me in a work mode, because if I get on Facebook and start scrolling on or checking emails and then scrolling on my phone, sometimes hours will go by before I realize it, because it's just mindless. And so I do that, one, to get my devotionals in every morning, two, to set a habit of letting that dictate my work flow day. And now, here's something helpful that she does that I thought would also be helpful to some that struggle to get out of bed in the morning. I don't really struggle that much, just that when I'm at home, I want to just waste time sometimes and not be as productive, because I work for myself. So mostly what I'm getting out of bed for is either to go outside the home for a client or work on my podcasting. And working on podcasting takes a lot of research, because I run out of things to talk about right off the top of my head. So I try to do research so that I can have a subject and someone else's ideas to also talk about, so I have something to talk about every single day. But she says that she sometimes has a little mister of water, or maybe it has essential oils, and she will mist her face a little bit to wake up in the mornings. I've also heard other people say that they struggle so much with getting up in the morning that they have their toothpaste on a toothbrush, or they put toothpaste on the toothbrush and they start brushing their teeth right there in bed. Now, I don't do that, but I don't have extreme struggles getting up like this person does. Sometimes people have mental health issues, depression, and they have to use odd things that we wouldn't think of to get themselves out of bed and motivated. So whatever you find to motivate you to get up and get ready for work, that is something that has to be done. And so I thought that was very interesting, because then that forced that person who brushed their teeth in the bed, it forces them to get up and rinse their mouth out in the bathroom, and it gets them motivated. Some can't get motivated without taking a shower first thing in the morning. After I do my devotionals, I get up and I immediately wash my face and brush my teeth, and that gets me going in the morning. Now, once in a while, if I'm really feel like, of course, I'm addicted to coffee. So if I feel I'm really dragging, I will go straight to the kitchen, start the coffee while I'm washing my face and brushing my teeth. And that way the coffee is ready as soon as I'm finished with all of that. But do what, find something that motivates you to get up out of that bed and get dressed. I know there's a fly lady, and she says to always get up, whether you work outside the home or not. Always get up, get dressed, put your shoes on, and that motivates you, even if you stay at home, just to get the things that you need to get done around the house, cleaning and organizing in my case, but cleaning and folding laundry, all of those things that you need motivation to get done in a day at home. Even if you don't work from home or work outside the home, there's always work that has to be done at home. So, and those are things that put her in work mode in the mornings. So she does all of that before she picks up her phone and checks her email. And then she tries to make her bed. Now, I don't make it as soon as I get up, but as soon as I do all of the things I mentioned below, I do go and make my bed. Now, I am not one to make sure my bed is made Pinterest perfect. I shake out the sheets and blanket and spread it nice and neat, but I'm going to confess something to you guys. Sometimes when you are married to someone that is the opposite of you, his messes don't bother him, okay? And when I say his messes, he has diabetes. He loves to leave his diabetic stuff right there on the side of the bed, so it's ready for him, not on his dresser. It has to be on his side of the bed, on the bed, okay? And sometimes our dog sleeps with us on the bed. It's getting to be more now than not, because if we don't let her sleep on the bed, she sleeps under the bed, and then she just makes all kinds of noises under there and keeps us awake throughout the night. So we might as well let her sleep on the bed, because she's gotten to where she refuses to sleep in the crate at night. So these are all things that we deal with. So when I make my bed, I just stack up the pillows and make the pillows nice and neat, and then I fluff out the blanket and sheet and put it as nice and neat as I can, but I put it right over whatever my husband's left on his side of the bed, which is usually just his diabetes kit. He can always find it. We're not arguing. My bed is made. I don't have to see his stuff. See, there are ways that you have to compromise with your spouse, or these things will drive you crazy for the rest of your marriage. You'll be fighting and arguing for the rest of your marriage, and I don't want to do that. So I choose ways to just get along and just let it go. The same with your children. Now, I don't know, I'm deviating a little bit from my podcast here, but it's the same with your children. You know, you do have to pick your battles. I did like my kids to clean their room, but I gave up on it being Pinterest perfect. And every so often I would warn them months ahead of time that if they didn't get it cleaned up, that I was going to organize it. And when they were really young, and they would go to camp, I would spend time during the summer organizing the whole house. So let me get back to our real subject, which is dividing up your work day and your home life when you're working from home. These are just things I wanted to add in there. So we make our bed. It already makes the room look nicer and neater to welcome us at the end of the day. It's easy to work from bed when you work remotely, but this can be counterproductive. So showering and grooming yourself for work, even though you work remotely, will get your mindset ready for work. We already kind of covered that, but these are Nikki Boyd's ideas as well. Now, she prepares her meals for breakfast and lunch the night before. What she does is she makes either the overnight oats, or she makes a yogurt parfait in a jar and has those already in her refrigerator for her week. What she also does in a jar is make salads in a jar, and she has those all in her refrigerator for her and her husband to eat for lunch, and they're all ready to go. So that's an idea that could make your work life at home more productive, or it can also work outside of the home. You have 2 jars, you put them in your lunchbox, you get to work. During your break, you have your breakfast, and at lunch, you have your salad. So that is a great idea. Now, when you're working from home, it's important to maintain your office hours. Even though I work from home when I do not have a client, I am usually spending my time working on organizing. Now, I will say that if I'm home on a Monday, I try to get all my podcasting done on a Monday so I can organize for my clients on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then I try to have Fridays left for a little arts and craft project, or catching up on some cleaning project. Especially if I have Bible study on Saturday, I will do some tidying on Friday. Now, because we are empty nesters and I don't have a lot of cleaning to do before Bible study, it's mostly doing the dishes, making sure the clean dishes are put away, because I have to admit, sometimes I wash the dishes and I leave them on the drying rack and don't put them up until the next day. So before I have Bible study, I set my little remote vacuum cleaner to vacuum the whole house. I sprinkle a little bit of carpet fresh on the carpet, and then that morning of Bible study, I set that remote to clean my vacuum the living room the morning of the Bible study. My living room, we don't use that much. I think we use it to eat breakfast Saturday and Sunday mornings. My husband either watches football, or he plays a game in there while we're eating breakfast. Those are the only times we really use the living room. And so we watch TV in our bedroom when we do watch TV. So, again, I'm probably getting way off of the subject, but I thought it would, these are some things that you might be interested in knowing. All right, now, here are some other notes that I took from Nikki Boyd. Is to minimize, her ideas is to have morning routines and minimize morning stress. Invest in a soft wake up clock with a gentle lighting and soft music. She doesn't like to be jolted awake, and I don't either. Now, if you really struggle to hear your alarm and you have to have it blaring, you have to have it blaring to get up. But she's like I am. I just like some gentle music, and my son has to have one that lights up in the morning. It lights up and it plays music both, and it goes from gradual to louder and louder and brighter and brighter until he gets up. He has to have that gradual to bright and blaring. But I enjoy just a gentle music and I'm up. And we already mentioned, then she spray mists her face to wake her up, and she likes to wake up gently, but yet does things that will actually wake her up. So you have to do what works for you. And then she has a morning caddy with all the things for her to get ready in the mornings. All of her makeup is all in one little caddy. She says she organizes her jewelry by color. All the silver jewelry is together. All the gold jewelry is together. It's all organized by color, so she doesn't have to search through all of her jewelry. Once she's picked out her outfit, she just goes to the color category that she's going to need to go to for that day. And she organizes her clothes by color. It's easier to pair up your items. Her drawers for fun Friday outfits. She has a separate drawer that she has for her fun Friday outfits. You know how when you work outside the home, you may have football day and a pajama day if you're a teacher, you have all those special dress up days. Well, she has a separate drawer. She keeps all of that in so it stays pristine and ready to go for that particular event. And then I already told you about the breakfast. She tries to make the overnight oats or the yogurt. Or here's two things I missed. She likes to sometimes make grits in her crock pot or a breakfast casserole. Those are all great ideas. And she has a forget-me-not basket or bag or tote at the front door for things that you usually find that you forget in the mornings when you're working outside the home. Or you can have a place on that front door to put a sticky note. Don't forget to get your lunch out of the refrigerator if that's something that you usually forget in the mornings. That would be me because I always bring my lunch, but I would need the opposite note. If I worked outside of the home, I would need one when I used to work retail outside the home and they had special Thanksgiving dinners or Christmas dinners, I would still bring my lunch because I was in such a habit of bringing my lunch. So I'd need the other note say, don't bring your lunch because you're having a free meal at work today. So whatever forget me notes that you need to put on the door or bags to put in extra clothes for anything, the activities that you're going to do after work, you can have a place by your front door for that. Let's see. And she likes to map out her day with a calendar for appointments, master to-do list or brain dump list, a day on a page. She uses her organizer, but she says if you already use a digital one, that's great. But and then her desk, she has a well-organized desk. Only the things you touch daily should be on your desk with a soft light lamp and a plant. And then in your drawer, you should have one for all your tech items and plug-in items, and another one for all your work tools like Post-it notes and office supplies, and then one can even be Zoom essentials. If you know you have meetings all the time on Zoom, you can keep a little bit of lipstick and extra powder and a hairbrush in another drawer. So each drawer should be themed and dictated. And if you don't have drawers, you can stack up some nice little decorative cardboard boxes underneath your desk to hold those non-essential items. Because remember, your most essential daily touch items are going to be on your desk in a little organized caddy. Now, always clean up your desk before you leave for the day. Make a cute inbox cover that will have a fun quote on it, or a funny anything that'll make you smile when you look at your inbox. Have that cover on a cover page for your inbox, just so that you're not interrupted with all the to-dos right away. You at least have something that makes you smile, a fun little quote, scripture, something funny. End work at home or office with a scripture or a positive quote. Weekly family meetings. She likes to have weekly family meetings. Now remember, this is about working at home or during the working from home or outside of the home, and these are things that help her keep her house functioning if she has to work, and that is having family meetings. I'm just going to touch on that because I don't know how relevant it is to our subject, but Sundays or Mondays, she says you can plan your weekly meetings Sundays or Mondays around the dinner table. Do your meal planning, what is working at home and what isn't working at home, what purchases need to be made throughout the week, and how to lesson plan so that you can teach your kids how to help around the house. Teach them how to do laundry, teach them how to do dishes, and you can pick each family meeting to teach them a new skill so that they can help around the house. And that's why family meetings are relevant to working. If both parents work outside or in the home, it's nice to teach your kids how to do their own laundry, make their own beds, and do certain things that will help the whole family. All right, now let me do a little review in case I've missed something in my notes. Nikki shares with us several things to help us create a stress-free environment in our home or in our office. Laughter relieves stress. One thing you can do at the end of the day is find a video or recall a funny memory and have a good laugh before you go back into your home. Nikki says it's really important when you're implementing systems for your work, your home life, your work and home life, that you think about those things that are going to save you time, money, and stress. Organize jewelry and clothes by color. Remember, this is a little review of what we've already talked about. Organize jewelry and clothes by color to save time trying to filter through all your pieces. Consider having pre-made breakfast such as overnight oats, overnight grits, breakfast casserole, or yogurt in the morning. Start the day with self-care for about 10 to 15 minutes. That could be reading scripture or a devotional, self-help book, watching something that inspires you or makes you laugh. Create a great morning routine by eliminating the amount of things you have to think about. Create an everyday caddy in the bathroom of things you actually touch every single day. Remember, just like the desk on your countertop in your restroom or bathroom should only be the things that you touch on a daily basis. Have a forget-me-not basket by the front door. Anything anyone needs before they leave in the morning will be right there ready to go. And if it's something in the refrigerator, a little sticky note. Don't check work emails before you start your work day. before you start your work day. Have an organized work desk that functions well for you. Minimize the amount of things on top of the desk. Before you leave for the day, clean off and reset your desk so it welcomes you nice and clean the next day. Have and then start, if you haven't already started, start having those weekly family meetings that I mentioned. You know, talk about what is needed in your home to make it function better. Teach new skills to help the kids learn how to be a team, and just so everybody can put everything on their calendar, so you're not having to write everything on this calendar, that calendar, this calendar, and that calendar. Y'all can discuss your schedules and have that all recorded, and everybody knows what everybody is doing. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was helpful for you. But that is one of my favorite organizers, and you can find her on YouTube. I will leave her information in the description box. And I will see you on the next podcast. Thank you so much for being with me.